Jain students, welcome to physics lecture of grade 10. I hope all of you would be fine at your homes. Now the first unit in our grade 10 is light. It is a very simple topic and is very easy. So let's start the light. Let me first introduce the concept of light to you. To imagine light, close your eyes. Now check what is visible to you. You find that nothing is visible to you. It means that when your eyes are closed, you are not getting any light and you are unable to see the objects. So what does it mean? It means that with light we can see the objects. Now imagine a solar cell. It works when there is sunlight, and when it is discharged completely, it will not be able to work because no energy is left in it. So what we can say? We can say light is a form of energy which enables us to see the objects. Now come to more points regarding the light, its nature. Now the first point about the light is that it is having dual nature. The meaning of dual is particle nature as well as wave nature. Particle nature and wave nature. Sometimes light it behaves like a wave. For example, during diffraction, polarization, the light it behaves like a wave. But there are certain phenomena in which light is behaving like a matter whenever light interacts with the matter. For example, photoelectric effect, Compton effect, black body radiations. These effects you will study in your higher classes. But let me tell you one of the concept that is very easy, although this is a concept of grade 12, but let me explain you in the grade 10. Photoelectric effect. Look, let us say this is a metal. Let us say this is a metal, and when light of suitable energy it falls on it, what it will do? Because of this light, an electron is ejected from the metal. Now electron is a material object, you can say electron is a matter, and something which is ejecting the electron, it should be matter. If there is a ball which is placed like this, if I want to move the ball, what I have to do? I have to either blow air, this blowing air is also matter, or I have to throw some another ball, so that because of this collision, this ball it has to move. So in the same way, light is interacting with electron of this metal and the electron is coming out from the metal. It means that light is behaving like a matter. This is an example of the particle nature of the light. I think now it's clear. Light is having dual nature, particle nature as well as wave nature. Particle nature, it is characterized by photoelectric effect that I have just explained you now, and wave nature, it is characterized by diffraction, polarization, interference, etc. Now second point is that if light is a wave, what kind of wave is light? Light is an electromagnetic wave. What is the meaning of the term electromagnetic wave? Listen, whenever light is traveling, let us say light is traveling across x-axis. This is light which is traveling along across x-axis. In this case, electric field vibrates along y-axis. Let us say this is the vibration of the electric field, and magnetic field also vibrate along z-axis. Here magnetic field is vibrating, and along this axis electric field is vibrating. Remember, there is an angle of 90 degree between these three. Along x-axis light wave is traveling, along y-axis vibrating electric field is propagating, along z-axis we are having vibrating magnetic field. These three are perpendicular to one another, just like this. I stretch my three fingers of right hand, they are mutually perpendicular to one another, right? So in this way light it also travels. Now third is, light is a wave. So what type of wave motion is this? You have done two types of wave motion. One is longitudinal, another one is transverse wave motion. In longitudinal wave motion, particles they vibrate in the direction of propagation of wave. Wave is vibrating this, particles they are also vibrating this. But in transverse vibration, in transverse wave motion, particles vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Wave is propagating like this, but vibration is like this. So from this diagram we can say light wave is transverse wave motion. I think these 3 points are clear to all. Now fourth point is, in grade 9 you have studied two physical quantities. One is frequency, it is denoted by nu, this symbol is nu, and its SI unit was hertz, H capital Z small, and wavelength, its symbol was lambda, and its SI unit is meter. And we have also done that velocity or the speed of the wave is product of frequency and the wavelength. In case of light, the wavelength range is 4000 angstrom to 8000 angstrom, and you have studied that light consists of how many colors? 7, starting from V to R, Vibgyor. All these colors they represents the wavelength range. Now smallest wavelength is of violet color and largest wavelength is of red color of light, right? Now my question is, by knowing the wavelength, can I calculate the frequency of this light? So let's check it out. For example, you are given a light whose wavelength is 4000 angstrom. What is angstrom? You have also done in the grade 9 that angstrom is a unit of length. It equals to 1 angstrom equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So here it will be 4000 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So how much it will be? 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. And what is the speed of light? Now listen, speed of light we will represent by the C instead of V. If you want to represent speed of light by V, it's okay, no problem. So speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So for your so that no confusion arises between this. I'm also writing V. V stands for the speed and C is the speed of light in vacuum. Now we know that V is frequency and wavelength. Speed of light in vacuum we know 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Frequency I have to calculate, so it will be 4 into 10 to the power minus 7. From here, frequency could be calculated as 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 4 into 10 to the power minus 7. If you solve this, 0.75 into 10 to the power 15, I can write it as 7.5 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. This is the frequency of the light whose wavelength is 4000 angstrom. Now, look, this is just the frequency and the wavelength, simple definition. What is its importance in the light? Look, you see the light not only of the 7 colors, but there are very large number of the colors that we see. We can see each color is associated with a particular frequency. Even if I say that this is the green color, you may find a number of shades in the green color. Why we are having a number of shades? Because each shade is associated with the particular frequency, right? So this is the significance of frequency and wavelength in light. All right, next topic is, this is the first, and my request is all of you please open your notebooks and start making the notes. If you will start the notes, definitely you will get very good results. You will understand the concepts very easily. Next is, topic is reflection. All of you have done the reflection. What is the meaning of the term reflection? When I used to come to the class, some of your friends, they used to complain me, sir, this whiteboard is not visible to me because of reflection. Now I'm asking, what is the reflection? You do reflection in your day-to-day life. Without reflection, you can't see the objects. For example, stand in a perfectly dark room. You won't be able to see the object because there is no light which can be reflected by the objects. One more example that I'm giving you. This example says that what is reflection? Okay, you think where you use the reflection? I think all of you in morning stand before a dressing mirror to dress up. What you see in your mirror, that is your image. And how that image is formed? That image is formed because of purely reflection. My question is, what is the meaning of the term reflection? Okay, let me tell you the meaning of the term reflection. Let us say this is a light ray. Light ray means light. We assume that light travels in a straight line. So that is depicted by means of a way. Let us say this is a light ray which is traveling in a medium, let's say in a air. All of a sudden it encounters a surface. What will happen? Since this surface is object, what will happen? it will bounce back. Let us say it is bouncing back. So what this is? This is reflection. Can you tell me what has happened? In this case, in addition to bouncing back, all of you will agree that path of light is getting changed, because earlier the light was traveling in this direction, but when it struck the mirror, it went in this direction. So there is change in the path. Earlier the light was also in air. After bouncing back, light remained in the air. So what can I say? I can say that in case of light reflection of light, there is change in the path of light in the same medium. So can you draw the definition of reflection yourself? Okay, let me tell the definitions once again. Two definitions. The bouncing back of light from a surface is called reflection. Second definition is, it is the change in the path of light in same medium. It is also the reflection. Now reflection is happening in our day-to-day life. When? For example, let us say there is a flower pot of red color. When you look at the flower pot of red color, what happens? Light is falling on this flower pot. It will absorb all lights except red. It reflects only red light, other lights are reflected. So that's why we see that pot as the red color. If you are having a black pot, it appears black. Why? Because on that particular surface, whenever light is falling, it is absorbing all the colors. So when no light is reaching for that surface, it will appear as black. If there is an object of yellow color, what will happen? When light will fall on that object, what will happen? Yellow color would be reflected, all other colors of light are absorbed. Why a white board it appears white? Because in this case, white board, it reflects all the colors. And when all the colors are reflected, what color we get? All of us know we get the white color. Now, let's move to the reflection. Once again, let's discuss the laws of reflection. Look here, this is the surface. This surface can be any surface. It can be rough surface, it can be plain surface, it can be smooth surface, it could be polished, it could be unpolished. Now, let us say this ray is falling on this. So what I will say that this ray is incident ray and this ray is reflected ray. Now, if I draw angle of 90 degree, this 90 degree angle is called normal, and angle between normal and incidence ray is called angle of incidence. What is I here? I is angle of incidence, and angle of reflection, that is angle between normal and reflected ray. This is angle of reflection. Now here this angle, what this angle is? This angle is glance angle of reflection. glance angle of incidence, not reflection, glance angle of incidence. And what this angle is? Glance angle of reflection. So are we ready for the laws of reflection? Okay. First law is incident ray, normal, reflected ray all lie in the same plane at the point of incidence. What is the meaning of this statement? That all are lying in the same plane. Do you have any idea that why? What is the meaning they are lying in the same plane? Let me tell you the meaning that they are lying in the same plane. Look, I am using three objects to be used as incident ray, reflected ray and normal. This pencil I am taking as incident ray, this black ball pen I am taking as normal, and this black permanent marker I am taking as reflected ray. They are lying in same plane because they are lying in the plane of paper. Let us say I have lifted this incident ray. Is this incident ray lying in the plane of paper? Answer is no. When answer is no, it means they are not lying in the same plane. So even if this is happening, it means it is not the case of reflection. So for reflection, all incident ray, normal, reflected ray at the point of incidence lie in same plane. And second one is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Right? So these are the laws of reflection. And remember, these laws are applicable whether light is falling on a smooth surface, rough surface, curved surface, plane surface, anywhere else. All these laws are applicable. So let's do some more points about reflection. Let us do. Okay, let's all of you now notes. The first note is regular reflection. Now here you will understand laws of reflection are applicable everywhere. And second is irregular reflection. Listen, let us say this is a very smooth, plain, polished surface, just like a plane mirror. Here, parallel rays are falling on this. So what will happen in this case? Light would be reflected. Light would be reflected, and you will find that earlier we were having parallel incident rays. Result is also the parallel incident rays. Remember, a collection of large number of rays is called the beam. So here we are having parallel incident beam, and result is also the parallel reflected beam. Such a reflection is called regular reflection. When you see in plane mirror, what type of reflection is that? That reflection is the regular reflection. And sometime the paint of a classroom or of a room is so much smooth that if somebody is coming from the outside, we can see his or her image. In that case also, regular reflection takes place. Next is irregular reflection. What is irregular reflection? When plane surface is not there, we are having a rough surface. So let the parallel beam to incident over this. What will happen? Let me check. What will happen here? Its normal will be here. So angle of reflection will be so much. If I do this, this is reflected ray. Here in this case, where is normal? To the letter, this is normal. In this case, small reflection, angle of reflection is this. Reflected ray is like this. Again here, let me draw its normal. This is normal. So here in this case, reflection, angle of reflection would be small. So what you are find? This ray, and very third ray. These three rays are not parallel, but incident rays are parallel. So the reflection in which parallel incident rays are not appearing as parallel after reflection, that reflection is called irregular reflection. For example, when you look at this chair, table, etc., such reflection it takes place because that surfaces are not plane. And why we don't get the parallel reflected beam? The reason is that their normals are also not parallel. Now the third point is case of normal incidence. Okay, this is a light ray. If this is a light ray, let us say light is falling normally on this, it will be, no, what is the angle of incidence here? It is 0 because this is normal and this is angle of, this is incident ray, angle is 0. So what is an angle I equals to angle R, so it will be also 0. So the light, it will be reflected back. Why this is happening? Because angle I is 0. So angle R is also 0. So this is the case of normal incidence. Fourth point is, okay, this is a plane mirror and a ray of light is falling on this. This is normal. I am giving this angle as 60 degree. Calculate angle of reflection. Okay, are you able to calculate this angle of reflection? What is your answer? 60 degree? Answer is incorrect. Why? Because angle of incidence is I. It should be 90 minus 60. Here angle I is 30 degree. So angle R, which is angle I, laws of it is also 30 degree. So angle of reflection, it will be also the 30 degree. I think this question is clear to all. Now after this, let me give one more question to you, is that this is a mirror and this would be the point of incidence. Let me draw normal first. This is the normal. Now a ray of light is falling on this. Let us say this angle is 40 degree. What is this angle? 40 degree. My question is, what is glance angle of reflection? Can you tell me what is glance angle of reflection? Let me first complete the diagram. Let me use some another pen for completing the diagram. Okay, just to show reflected ray, this is reflected ray, this is 40, so angle of reflection is 40. And what is glance angle of reflection? This is glance, it is 50 degree. 50 plus 40, 90. So glance angle of reflection is 50 degree. If you find any problem, WhatsApp your problem to me, or you can call me. Okay, don't keep any doubts in your mind. Let's remove the doubts so that we can be successful in all competitive examination. Thank you.